Okay, going to do up a little video here. Haven't done one in a long time. I got two radios on the bench here. There's a reason why I got two radios on the bench. This video is going to be pretty much all about this Kraco. I bought this at an antique shop for about 15 bucks. Still has the original box, still has everything to it. Actually has the original Kraco mic to it. And I got a surprise when I opened this thing up. I really didn't think I had much when I bought it, but actually did. This is a Cybernet board. It is a very, very early PLL version of a PLL02A Cybernet board. Back in the day when we dealt with car stereos and all this stuff, you didn't want something that said Kraco or Sparkomatic on it, but this actually turned out to be a very good CB radio for what it is. I know it's only a 23 channel, but it's still functional. And the reason why that I've got two radios sitting here is this is a Kraco 2310B, and right here we have a GE model 5819A. And the reason why that I have both these radios sitting side by side is because I wanted to show you the similarities. I'm going to recap this radio. It works fine, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. But this radio is the predecessor to this board. This board is very similar to the board that's in this radio. This is a 23 channel, this is a 40 channel. But the similarities are unreal. It's amazing. I don't know exactly what year this is. This radio I think is a 1977. I think that's what it says on the back of it. But I've got it hooked up, and I'm not going to yank everything around here to do that. But I believe it's a 1977 on this one. This is probably an 80s model. But I just wanted to show you the similarities to it. And we'll do that right quick. Pull the cover off this thing. I'm going to recap this one too and clean it up. But just to show you, the boards are very similar. They both utilize the same audio chip. A lot of the cans or the inductors are the same designs, everything. This one actually has a board number, and I don't know if we can see it. I can get it in the light. Oh, there it is. I can't find a board number on this one anywhere, but it is pretty much the same board. Now, you know, there's definitely some differences. You've got some ICs in here that you don't have on this one, but pretty much transformers in the same place, a lot of filters and crystals in the same place. I mean, pretty much the same radio. It's really kind of interesting. That's just why I wanted to show you that, because this would be one of the earliest versions of a PLL chip that probably come out on a 23 channel radio, and this is going to be one of the very early versions of a 40 channel radio with the same PLL in it. Not necessarily the earliest, but one of the earliest. I got more O2A Cybernet boards over there. I've got I think there's a Bowman, and there's some JCPenney's over there that utilize the same board. These are AM only radios, so I just thought it'd be pretty neat for everybody to see that this is probably a product of what this come from. This was the probably the very first board, or one of the very first boards to ever be the predecessor to this. So I always thought that was kind of pretty neat. But anyway, we'll get this bad boy out of the way here, and we'll do some smoke testing on this one real quick here. It does work. Right now I've got it on the dummy load on the BNK1040. I've got the scope on. Let me throw a signal through it here and just show you. It does receive. I'll kick it on the antenna. Receives good on it. So we're going to throw on the, let's throw on the tone. Put a tone through it here. You can see she's doing about 10 watts. Doesn't look bad on the scope. Give me just a second here. This does utilize a 1306 final, which is, I'm setting point with here. The thing I found at the moment is the up tie, 1306 final. I think, let me shut this damn tone off. Let's see here. If I can find it in the camera. Right here's the modulation pot. RV, I believe it's RV102. It's turned halfway up. Right there is the, I think it's D111 in these. That's it, but that's the modulation limiter is still intact. So this thing is pretty much still factory stock as it come out of the factory. And according to the scope, which didn't look bad, it's right about 100% modulation. But if I can find it here real quick, make a little adjustment on it. Well, we'll just, I know I can't do it with the camera and everything else, so we'll go ahead and crank this modulation all the way up in this thing, and I'll show you what it looks like on the scope. And it'll do a lot more wattage, but it's not doing much. It's just basically killing it. So here we go. Okay, now we're showing about 15 watts, but look at the scope. Nasty, nasty, nasty. So that just goes to show you. It was actually set pretty good from when I got it. And it does about, turn that down to where it was. Let's show it in average power. Kick it on through it again here and see what we got. And let's go back on the 10 watt scale. Here we go, average. Got 3 watts. Not too bad of a little radio for what it is. So I'm going to go through and recap it. I think it's got very low hours of use on it, but it's still a nice radio for what it is. I mean, it's the cases look nice on it. The face looks extremely nice on it. Stock mic still in very good shape. So it'll be a good one to put up on the shelf and be good for several more years. But I'll recap her and put her up. I just thought you guys might want to see it. Later.